Hi, I'm David, and I'd like to talk about our Game Center support in the Battle of the Bulge game. We're using Game Center for our online play because all you have to do to use it is have an Apple ID, which you probably already do if you're playing the game. It allows us to let you play against people worldwide, and it's totally free. You do have to be online to be using it, but if you are offline, you can still be playing turns and saving them up for later. I have to mention that there is a Game Center application on OS X Mountain Lion, but we're not going to be talking about that. Battle of the Bulge is an iPad game, and it's going to be much easier if you use either Battle of the Bulge itself for much of the Game Center interaction, and also the Game Center app on the iPad for a few of the management things. So we're going to start by launching Battle of the Bulge, and the first thing that happens is you get the chance to sign into Game Center. I'm just going to sign in with my existing Apple ID password. Just to let you know, you can create a new Apple ID if you want to make a special one just for playing the game. Once I've authenticated, it welcomes me, and now I'm able to play in Game Center. So I've now logged in. I'll be able to earn any achievements the game may have, but if I want to play someone else, I need to have a Game Center friend. To do that, you need to use the Game Center application that Apple provides on every iPad. So I will go to the Game Center application and I'll tap the Friends tab. I already have a bunch of Game Center friends. If I want to invite someone else to be playing Battle of the Bulge with me, first they have to be on Game Center and they'll need to be my friend. So I'll tap the little plus up here on the game list, and I can either type in someone's email, or if I happen to know their Game Center ID, I can type that in. So once I have a friend, I will tap the send button here. I'm not going to customize this a great deal, but I'll just send off this request and they'll get a notification. They'll be able to answer it. Like all other play, we start with the play button, and I want to start a new online game. Online play, all the Game Center stuff is down here at the bottom. And this part is really important. If I just start to play now, I'm going to be auto-matching. I actually want to invite someone I know to play, so I have to hit the Invite Friends button. So here's a bunch of my Game Center friends. It's sorting it by people who have played the game. It also lists a bunch of people who haven't played, and it's totally okay to invite those people. They will get a notification. If they don't have the game, they'll actually get a link so that they can buy it in the App Store. So it's a great way to share the game with your friends, to invite them to play. I'm going to invite one of our playtesters, and I tap his name. Now I get to give him a little message about what are we playing. The default is provided by Apple. Do you want to play Battle of the Bulge? That's also the name of one of our scenarios. So if I want to do Race to the Moors, I can edit that. And when I send this, it isn't actually sent. And I'll show you why. That's because we haven't picked which game we're playing. In this case, I did want to play Race to the Moors, but I can also choose the Battle of the Bulge scenario, and I get to pick who moves first. This is important because every time Game Center tells you you have a turn, you can play. And in Battle of the Bulge, the axis always moves first. So I will let David move first by playing the Allied side. So I'll start the game, but I'm immediately waiting for him to play. This lets me play against someone somewhere in the world who's also deciding to play an auto-match game. Just like before, I'll start a new game, and instead of inviting somebody, you can see auto-match is there, and I'll just hit play now. And if someone else has been auto-matching, whoa, looks like I'm playing Evil Boy. A little moment ago I was playing against Evil Boy. How did I know that? Because I was paying attention and saw the little note. If I tap the faction here, I get a little tip that reminds me who I'm playing against. So we're playing the full game, that's nice. So let's look at the games I'm playing. The choose button has a 1 on it, which shows that I have currently 1 turn that I can play in. I may have some other Game Center games here too, and in fact I have a turn playing with David. I just sent the turn to Evil Boy, so it's still his turn. And I have a game that just ended. So I can go and load the game against Evil Boy just to see what it is, but I can't play. I'd just be back in the waiting state, so I might as well play the turn I do have. So now let's show what happens when you receive a Game Center invitation. Oh, I got an invitation from Miguel. This is a notification. I can just tap it, and I have a turn here from Miguel. I'm playing Race to... Oh, he looks like he let me be the Axis in Race to the Moors. And so now this will be showing up in my list of games. It's my turn. It's also possible that if I didn't respond to the invitation in time, it would be listed up the top here as invitations, and I can accept or decline it here. That's pretty much the only way to decline an invitation, is here in this green Game Center dialog. By tapping on the notification, I did accept the chance to play Miguel. And in general, it's probably, if you really don't want to play, it's probably better to just decline it rather than accepting and then resigning the game. And here's a move. Comes in as a standard iOS notification. I tap it, it launches Battle of the Bulge, and loads the Game Center turn. So how did that happen? Is that I made sure that in the settings application I have enabled notifications for Game Center so that I can get things like friend notifications, but also Bulge itself can send me badges, sounds, and banners so that I am told right away when a turn comes in, because there's very little that's more important than getting a turn. One thing that is more important, maybe not, is sleep, and the Do Not Disturb setting on iOS 6 does trump any notifications, so you can safely play Battle of the Bulge late at night and not have to worry about getting woken up for a turn. And I just got a new turn in. So you can see that there's this notification, which I didn't get in time, but that's okay. The badge reminds me that it's there, and since it's my only Game Center game that I can play right now, I can get to it directly by tapping the Game Center button. If I had multiple games, it's going to go to an arbitrary game that I can play in. It wouldn't necessarily have been the latest one that came in. And down here in Choose, you can pick a game to play. You could have multiple games running at the same time. I believe Game Center is currently limiting you to up to 30 games at a time, which is probably enough. So I can pick a game I want to play. I can check on the games that I'm waiting on someone else to move. If I know these people, I might be able to nudge them with out-of-band channels like chat or email. And it also lists all the games that are over. This one looks like it was resigned early. If the game had been completed, it would show you that it was an Axis victory and how many victory points. So if I decide I am losing really badly and don't want to keep playing a game, I can swipe to quit, and I would have to tap again to confirm it. I really don't want to quit in the middle of a game with David. It's often kind of rude to do that, especially when it's so early in the game. I can also delete one of these completed games the same way, simply by swiping, and remove the game from my saved list. These little triangles here also let me quit the game explicitly if I forget the swipe gesture. tells me when the game was started, and that's kind of important in some cases so you can remember which game it is. Is this the game I just began or an older game? That's one reason we also tell you what the game time is. This one is still early on the first day of the game, so it's not a game I've been playing a long time in terms of number of turns. I can also quit here. I'll get a confirmation, but again, it's generally a better idea to let someone have the joy of winning instead of resigning. Other thing you can do in the Game Center app that we don't mind if you do it at all is you can tap here to give it a rating, and I've already hit the like button because I've signed in with Facebook. That is another way of sharing the game, and it lets my friends know that I like this game, you should be playing it too. It's a networked system, so the most obvious thing is there can be a network problem. You need to have a active connection either through your cellular equipped iPad or through Wi-Fi. You can do certain things in a Game Center game without being connected, but as soon as you try to send a turn, we need to have a connection. The connection could drop in the middle of sending, and if that happens, we will put up a little notification to you that your turn didn't get there, so you don't have to be saying, why is my friend not replying? And the next time we have an opportunity, when the connection comes back, you go back into Wi-Fi or your train comes out of the tunnel, we'll send the turn. Another common issue is if you try to invite a friend and, well, if they don't have the game, then they're not going to respond very quickly until they buy it. But there may also be a problem if your friend has set his Game Center settings such that he doesn't want to be invited to games. And let me show you how you can set that, or more importantly, how you can tell your friend to turn it off. When you're in the Game Center application, you have to tap on the account here. For most people, it's an email address. It's your Apple ID. And you view the account. What you want to make sure is that Game Invites is set to on. If I have it off, no one can invite me into a game, and they'll get an error message when they do. So that covers a lot of Game Center issues. It lets you play people worldwide. You can play on your own schedule, and that's actually pretty important. The other person will also be playing on their schedule. They may be anywhere in the world. You really don't have any way of knowing unless it's someone that's known to you. And even your friends, you don't know if they suddenly got a phone call and they can't play, or their spouse is really annoyed that they're still playing at 2 in the morning. So if you don't get a Game Center response right away, just wait. You eventually will. So I hope to see you guys on Game Center.